First, we're with Hanson, climbing the giant limestone staircase at Bats Combe in Somerset to see the rewilding on the quarry benches that sit close to Cheddar Gorge. The benches are carved out of the rock face and ensure safety and stability during quarrying. Ideas about what to do with the benches have changed, and by working with academics at Bath Spa University and the University of the West of England, the team at Bats have been ahead of the curve in bench restoration for 40 years. They've come up with some great ideas that have improved both the landscape and enhanced biodiversity. Trials were staged to look at the best use of climbers. Drones surveyed the planting sites, and locally collected flowers like cheddar pinks and cheddar white beam trees are now dotted along the rock face. Grassland, woodland and scree shape the landscape, providing the ideal home for bats and dormice. Callow Rock is the next door neighbour of Bats Combe, so we're staying in Somerset, this time with aggregate industries. The quarry has been extended, and here the big idea is outside the working area. It's helping greater and lesser horseshoe bats in the North Somerset and Mendip's Bats Special Area of Conservation. Grassland, hedgerows, woodland and new glades and rides are making a significant contribution to the conservation of these precious bats who now fly and forage over the woodland, grassland and hedgerows. It's unusual for such a large conservation area to be created as compensation habitat alongside a working quarry, and the project has had to dovetail with the landscape of the Mendip Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty. For other operators, the Callow Rock team say, plan ahead and look out for those protected sites. Be creative, they say, and don't just tick the box. We're in Derbyshire now, at Doveholes with Cemex, where twite, a small type of finch, have been fitted with radio transmitters to track their flight and monitor nest sites. Doveholes have been working with the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, the British Trust for Ornithology and a local birding group. Twite are extremely endangered. Their numbers have dropped by 90% in just 20 years. This red-listed bird was once found as far south as Devon, but now Doveholes is its most southerly site. The 5 pairs of twite at this quarry are 5% of the national population of these rare little creatures. Radio tracking birds isn't new, but using it on such small birds is unusual. Wandering around inside one of the UK's biggest quarries with an aerial wasn't an option, so radio masts both inside and outside the site were the solution. We stay with Cemex and head to North Wales and Rains Quarry, where haymaking is helping the chough and the rare dwarf silver-studded blue butterfly. The red-listed chough is especially partial to invertebrates living in calcareous grassland, the kind of grass you find on thin, basic soil on top of chalk and limestone. Rains Quarry is the most easterly home of the chough, which nest in the quarry face, and hungry birds need insects. The team have created the ideal habitat using local hay and grazing sheep, and they've worked with the stockman to ensure his animals aren't treated with wormer insecticide that would kill invertebrates that feed on their dung. In springtime, it's a wildflower carpet of colour, created by using seeds sourced from a local SSSI. Bird's foot trefoil, rock rose and orchids are all flourishing, and the hay mulch is a wild muesli of fungal spores and insect eggs. Creating this ecosystem in a working quarry might have seemed difficult at first, but the determination of the Rains Quarry team has delivered impressive results. Kapow! Next we're in Cemex's Bat Cave. Here at Taff Wells Limestone Quarry near Cardiff, old mineral railway tunnels are providing a des res for a host of bats. Barbastelle, Brants, the shaggy-furred whiskered, Greater and Lesser Horseshoe are just some of the bats living in the tunnels and caves. They're also home to some rare trochlobites, creatures who prefer cave dwelling to above surface living. The blind spider and the harvest moon spider are weaving their webs and creeping around the tunnels. The hibernacular, that's a place for bats to hibernate, was created by clearing debris and building special walls to encourage the bats to roost. Bats are also fussy about temperature and humidity, and work is being undertaken to keep conditions just right, especially in the winter when the bats are in a torpid state. And while the bats sleep in their protected new home, it's hoped the work on the bat caves will put a stop to vandalism and antisocial behaviour. Our next stop is North Yorkshire and Ripon Quarry, where Hanson's In at the Start partnership has united a whole community to monitor and protect wildlife over the lifetime of the quarry. Working with High Bats Nature Reserve next door, local schools and volunteers, last year over 2,000 hours of volunteer time increased understanding of the quarry's biodiversity. A 4.5 kilometre survey track has been created. There's a base for volunteers and a mobile hide. Water vole, brown hare, harvest mouse, and birds like oystercatcher, snipe and curlew are all living at Ripon, and the shared goal is to enhance and maximise the ecological interest of the site. Establishing a partnership with the Nature Reserve, being open to suggestions and working with dedicated enthusiasts is making In at the Start a success. Hanson's Floodplain Forest at Milton Keynes is a partnership with the town's Park Trust to create a dynamic and ambitious river floodplain system. Lakes, ponds, wet woodland, swamp, marsh, fen and reed beds are transforming the landscape into a network of habitats which link with the main river, the Great Ouse. Channels have been engineered so that floodwater flows at different times and levels via inlets upstream and downstream. This network is oxygenating the water, trapping silt and helping to control pollution. The natural life of the river is working with this restored landscape. Water seeps away slowly, recharging the water table and controlling flooding. The floodplain is attracting a multitude of birds, including cuckoo, redshank and lapwing. Water voles and otter have also been spotted, and in 2017 a herd of conic horses arrived. They're specialist grazers of wetland environments and often used in nature reserves. In summer and autumn, they're joined by cattle. Meet Rocky, newt detective. Rocky is sniffing out great crested newts at Crown Farm Quarry in Cheshire. Rocky, the spaniel, and his handler from Wagtail, UK, conducted the first scientific research to test whether sniffer dogs could track down the great crested newt. They even made a starring appearance on BBC One's The One Show. Rocky was put through his paces with pot tests used in drug detection, and exercises where he had to hunt out the newts. First results look good, and in collaboration with Natural England, more field trials are taking place. Until now, finding newts has been expensive and time-consuming, but a sniffer dog can cut out the need for trapping and the use of miles of unsustainable plastic fencing. Rocky has proved that quarrying can be the springboard for groundbreaking conservation techniques. Rocky and his highly trained nose could save newts and save the mineral industry millions of pounds.